Hi, welcome to Happy Hour with Ruth.
And Roxy.
And as you can see, we're inside Roxy's house this week.
We are.
And it's raining outside because,
Because it's winter.
Because it's mid-October.
It's fall.
Right.
It's not winter,
fall.
but when the weather turns though, like it's so cold. So I've been working in the garage all afternoon while I've been painting. My toes were actually numb.
Yeah. But was it from because I've been going through photos and stuff, and then you go to get up and it's like both my legs are asleep.
Numb. Yeah, there's a little of that going on too.
But it's cold.
Yeah.
Some mornings we go out and it's just like, holy hell, where are we?
Well, and I had the garage open just that much for ventilation, right? It was a little chilly. It was a little chilly in there.
Okay. What are you drinking, Rox?
We are drinking.
What do you guess? You guys want to guess what we're drinking?
Want to guess? Well, here's a real big clue.
There's bubbles. Cheers. So a big shout out to our hairstylist, Briley, who is at, and I'm always forgetting the name of where she is. New Concept.
New Concept hair design in Chilliwack.
So a shout out. I love my hair. I love Briley. Sitting with her is like going to therapy.
She's such a good conversationalist.
Yep.
She's an interesting person.
Yeah, and she reaffirms your faith in human nature, right? Like she's a good person,
and in the upcoming generation, because she's at 30 something.
She just turned 30.
She just turned 30. Yep. Okay, yeah. So she's my kid's age.
Yeah, no, she's awesome.
And
anyway, thank you, Bradley, because
she does a good job.
Because you're ours. Yes.
Sorry for the background. You're going to see Neo just doing his thing.
Yep.
Because it's what he does.
I was actually, Roxanne pulled together a few clips that we're going to use as promos, and I'm watching them. And at one point it was like, I'm listening to us talk and thinking about the promo, and all of a sudden it's like, what just went by? And it was Neo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a little inspirational one.
Ooh, so that's always good.
Because weather and, things are challenging around lots of things, including, the Tinder experience of trying to sell our house. It's like, swipe left or right or whatever. It's like, do the right swipe, damn it. But anywhere, it came up on social media and it almost felt like the universe was sending me a message. And it was this meme that said, whenever you're in a situation and need motivation, just whisper, give them the old razzle-dazzle to yourself. And then proceed to give them the old razzle-dazzle.
Ooh, I like that.
That's a good one, right?
I like that.
Yep.
That's very similar to something I read today. It was a writer's motivational thing, but it was kind of the person who was putting out the little meme or the blog post or whatever it was that I read was in PR and did media training, and I was thinking of you. But they said one thing that they always remind people is before they go out and give a talk or do something challenging, remember, you want to be here.
Yes.
You want to be here, and they want to be here.
Yeah.
So go out with that kind of enthusiasm. Yep. We want to be in this life. We want to live here, and then we want to live somewhere else. We want to sell our homes and move. And
that's exactly it. And I think that's a good thing, because the other thing I always say for when we do media training is like, stand up and own who you are, right? You're walking into this as the expert in whatever it is.
Right.
And it also means that when you're walking into a social situation, because nobody's better at being you than you, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and I think that's important, but I think we should see if our beautiful community might tape themselves whispering, give them the old razzle-dazzle to themselves. So we have to do that. We have to start them off. So you go first. If you were somewhere and you needed some pizzazz, how would you say it to yourself?
I would be like, okay. Well, I'd be, first of all, behind a tree or in a bathroom stall or something like that. Give him the old razzle-dazzle. Give him the old razzle-dazzle. Give him the old razzle-dazzle.
That's pretty good.
How would you do it?
I would be somewhere hidden because you don't want to get caught, but I would be like, give him the old razzle-dazzle.
Ooh.
Right? I like jazz hands.
Yeah.
Right? So let's see. How would you?
How would you do it?
Yeah. Tell us how you would do it. That would be fun to see.
That would be.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Also, you know what else I learned while watching the promo clip that you put together for us?
What?
I do this. Yeah.
Well, what I was thinking afterwards when you told me that? Well, that just means that I'm talking a lot. I'm flapping my gums a lot.
But it is one of those, and I'm going to watch myself, but I think we'll just put we'll put one of those things where you just want somebody to agree with you. We'll do all the clips of me going, yep.
And then at the end, we'll do the one that says, Ruth is always right.
We do have that, I have to say. Yeah, so I do have that. Okay, so today we'll talk about this, although it will be 2 weeks after we do this, but today, because we're filming on a Saturday, because I got a COVID shot and it knocked me out yesterday. But today was the No Kings protests in the U.S. And at this point, I think they're saying, and it's still early numbers because a whole bunch of small towns came out. They're saying that the reports they have in so far, and it is still early numbers because it's still early on the West Coast. 7 million people all over the place. You should see them. We'll find some of the clips maybe to link to, like Boston and Chicago and like the bigger cities that have lots of people, but even small towns like in North Carolina, which leans Republican, right? Tens of thousands of people coming out, right? Like it's just, it's so incredible. And these people, and so New York City, I've heard 100,000, 300,000 came out in New York City. And like I don't know what numbers are right, but even 100,000, no arrests.
Of course not, because there's no one's doing anything wrong.
Right, well, that's just it. And they didn't let, if there was antagonists, what they do is if somebody starts to be violent, they're all just sitting down, all of the good protesters, and they're letting the bad people stand there, which means that there are 12 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because what they're trying to do is antagonize them into fighting.
Yes.
Because then Trump could declare martial law, right? And so what they're doing is as soon as violence starts, they all just sit down.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's so smart. Such great strategy. Yeah.
And just so to see them come out like that, and there's something that says you need something like 3% of the, and I don't know, I'll look it up and we'll put it in the notes, but you have a certain percentage, and they weren't quite there yet. I think they needed 10 million to come out, but this is early days in this kind of protest,
so they
right?
needed 10 million to come out in order
that's when you see how you can get people out of power. Right. But also all the numbers aren't in, and usually by the next day the numbers have gone up. But it's already by their numbers it's already 2 or 3 million ahead of what the last protest was. And again, it's not. It's momentum, right? The next one will be even bigger, right? And that's just it. But it's like good for them. They did a really good job. Doesn't sound like there's been any insanity. I was worried it was going to turn into a Kent State or a Tiananmen Square kind of thing. And so far, and again, knock on wood, right? So far we're okay, which is really good.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And so many people cared, and like so many people, because I've been sharing all day when I'm seeing reports come in about this city showed up, this town showed up. I've been sharing it, and so many of the comments are like, "Hell yeah, we're out!" Right? And even Canadians are like, this is good. America do this. We had a protest, and I'm sorry I didn't go to it. We had a protest at the U.S. Embassy, I believe, in Vancouver. There was a protest, and I'd like to see how many went out for that. And I do feel kind of bad, although I did try to order me and you frog costumes. So that we could walk up and down.
Why am I not surprised?
But, hey, you can't get them in time, but also a lot of that in the U.S. they're sold out. Like the people that do inflatable costumes, they're like, we don't have anything in stock anymore. And I mean, Halloween's coming up.
No, totally. I will just point out that the lighting isn't great here, but this is teal, which is kind of the closest I have to green in a sweater, and yours is definitely olive green, but the light here is making it look a bit more brown. But we're your emotional support Canadians.
Yeah, we absolutely are. No, and I'm just so absolutely inspired and proud of everybody who came out, because some people, and there were older people who had been through like the protests in the Vietnam War, and they were saying, I did it then, I'll do it now. And there was one woman they had actually on MSNBC last night. She was like, I'm 65 years old. I was never around for any big protests, but she said, basically screw you if you think I'm staying home for this. And she said, I'm going, where there have been threats of violence. And that, ICE is here and all these things. And she's like, I'm not going home, and I'm going to step in front of any kid that's being harassed. Right? Like she was so brave. And that's like, it gives you hope.
It does. I learned of something today while I was painting in my garage. I'm painting furniture because before we decided to list, I wanted to get our house ready for photos and all that. And there was a few pieces that I didn't like what they looked like, but I still kind of wanted to keep them. So I painted them. They look much better now. And so I had some bigger pieces. These one's a bed frame and one's a folding table. The table has arms that come out, but it's a kind of a hallway table. So I went and got some lovely gray with maybe a bit of a bluish tinge to it, but charcoal paint. So I was doing that all this afternoon. So I had podcasts on. And I was listening to Recovery from Religion, which I really enjoy. They have great guests. And somebody was mentioning a group called Christians Against Christian Nationalists, which I had not heard of before. And this was obviously a podcast called Recovering from Religion, is going to have a lot of atheists, agnostics, people that are no longer in organized religion. But this guest was someone who talks to people within the religious community and finds common ground. And this was amazing. And his point was that we need to be connecting with each other and forming these networks so that everyone's kind of on the same page. Because he said there's a lot more people that we align with than we realize. And, and he cited a pastor who's part of a progressive church. It's a church that affirms, LGBTQ, trans, all that stuff. So it's a much more progressive church. But he is a Christian who aligns with with non-Christians, with atheists, with people who are in favor of democracy and not in favor of Christian nationalism. Right. And I thought I just love that. Yeah. There's somebody trying to bridge that gap.
Yep. And it's so important because I admit I'm one of them. I make these blanket judgments now, right? And you can't do that. Like it's things I'm learning because not
it's really
all people,
hard not to.
It is, but also it just exactly like this.
Yeah.
And also doing it, the way I have, and I'm working to change. It closes the door to find any kind of common ground. Right?
It does.
Is the challenge of it because people can think something because they're ill-informed or they're uneducated. Or they grew up with these biases, right?
Yeah.
And we can't assume that they can't change their minds or learn, right? And honestly, some of them can't. And so you just write those off. Like the young National Republican Party or whatever it is who had all those racist and anybody who doesn't vote Republican should be in the gas chamber kind of crap. To me, we just write them off. But there are people that, because of things beyond their control, have never seen a different side to things, right? And I think that's important. There's stories about, there was a former Proud Boy, and I don't know if he's actually a Proud Boy, but definitely a white nationalist, right? Who then realized how wrong it was, and he started going out to other people in those groups and talking to them about what they were doing that was wrong.
Oh, wow.
Right? And there was also a black man in America who would find places to go to that, the white nationalists would go to, and he struck up friendships and changed things.
Wow.
Right? And so think about that old hair shampoo commercial, right?
You tell two friends, right? And they tell two friends,
but that's
and
just
so
it.
on, and so on, and so on. We all wanted that hair.
But that's just it. And so if we could do it, like if we have the groundswell of that, right, is just so important. And I think today was one of those things because lots of people who probably would never go out and protest things have gone out because they realize how dire it is.
Yeah.
Right? Because holy man, it's dire.
Yeah, it's dire.
Yeah. So the Trump administration, they remember George Santos?
Yeah.
This will be all over by the time you guys see this. He commuted his sentence yesterday. He's only been in jail for 3 or 4 months, but now he's out. And so that's Trump sending a message.
Yeah.
Stick with me.
Yeah.
I got you.
For sure it
right?
is.
So who's next? Ghislaine Maxwell. Right? He's desensitizing us to these things.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But also, they've been blowing up these boats off Venezuela, saying they're drug dealers. Well, there were survivors to one of them. 2 survivors, I think, and they had them in custody. Well, they've sent them back to their home country, which I don't know, it wasn't Venezuela, but it was another country. They've repatriated them into that country without charging them. So, either they let drug cartel people go, because they said the boats they're blowing up are drug people, or they're bombing innocent people.
Yeah.
Right? So which is it? Because that's the only 2 things.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's very black and white.
Goodness.
Right? Wow. So they sent them away so they wouldn't talk.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right?
Holy. So think of the trauma those people have gone through. They barely survived.
And they might have just been out fishing. And honestly, even if they were running drugs, they still get due process. right?
That is not how you
no, it's
address
not how
it.
you do it, right?
It's not how you address it, and you have to prove it first.
But that's just
you
it.
can't
And
go in and punish them just in case.
And another boat, their family came out and said they're fisher people. I don't know what we call what the
Fisher people.
Fishers?
Yeah.
Fishers. You know, it's like they're just out trying to feed their families.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I mean, I've done lots and lots of work in the justice system. Big drug cartel people don't put 6 people on a little boat and a whole bunch of drugs. First of all, there's not enough room for the drugs.
Right.
And then the other side, they do everything to not be seen.
No kidding.
Right?
Yeah.
And also, that many people, there's no logic to it. If they're really running them, there's one person in the boat, so if somebody comes, they can jump off. Right? Like they can escape, or they throw there might be 2, so you toss the drugs overboard. If they saw you coming, and several times they've said the people saw the boats coming because they turned around. What they would have done is because you used to hear all these stories, and Jimmy Buffett told a lot of them, of big packages of cannabis and even cocaine, because of the way they're wrapped, floating in, right?
Oh my
on the shores,
goodness.
Right? And nobody would touch it because they knew the cartel knew the boat, they had tossed it, so they were looking for it. And if you touched it, you were in trouble.
Right. Oh my goodness. This is literally the show that we are watching right now called Task.
Oh yeah.
On, I think it's HBO.
Yeah.
HBO or Crave?
Crave.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it keeps advertising.
It's good, but that's the gist of it there. And yeah, there was one episode where I said, I am having flashbacks to Sons of Anarchy and I don't think I can do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I like watching TV with my husband. It's a thing that we do together. And he's like, I'll watch it myself. And I said, no, I'll. And that episode was particularly violent, but you're so invested in the characters. And yeah, that's exactly it. They're fishing drugs. They're trying to fish drugs out of a river.
Yeah. But that's just it. And they've created these things. So if they do have to toss them, that they do. I forget what the thing is, because they'll float in, but they also sink enough that they can't get fat. Like we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, right? They know what the risks are. They're packaged in a way,
what
right?
They're doing, yeah,
right. And the tide takes them, but then it's like it ends up somewhere, and because it's a drug cartel, I expect they have whatever the oceans person that understands tides, right?
Yes.
Right? I expect they have them on staff because they'll tell you where they are.
Yeah. Where is this?
Right?
Where is the tide going to take this? Where's it most likely
going to take it?
Where is
right?
this current going?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's such specialized knowledge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it is interesting because the stuff coming out of the White House is all lies now, and it's so ridiculous that it's like they're even losing their own people. And I think that's like they've gone too far.
That's key.
Yeah.
That's key for this ending.
I mean, I never thought I'd be agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Seriously.
Strange things, strange times.
But good on the American people for standing up.
No kidding. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's very good. So, on a whole other note, Paul and I went a long time ago. They were a client of ours in South Africa to Londolozi, right? This beautiful place, and we'll put a link up to it because it is a magnificent lodge in South Africa. But they put up a thing that's really cool. So they sit around the fire quite often after you have dinner and you do all the things. You go sit around this beautiful fire, and they do have rangers around you to make sure that it's just people around the fire. But they put up a thing, and you get the Londolozi talking stick, and when you sit around the campfire, they ask you these questions.
Ooh.
Right? And one of them was that really got me is, if the stars could whisper one secret to you, what do you think it would be?
Wow.
Right? And I thought, wow, like, ooh, how big is that? So you can think about it for a minute, because I've had time to think about it. And I think what it would whisper to me, and it would have whispered it to me all my life, is, you're enough.
Oh, that's such a beautiful message. Wow.
Right? So what do you think?
Oh, I don't know.
We can come back. You can think.
Yeah.
Because we'd like for anyone out there that feels comfortable doing it, either do a video and tell us, or write it in the comments, right? Come and tell us what you think, because it's such a big
message from the stars. And this would be a message to your elemental person, like the person the best part of you, who you were meant to be, who you should be.
Yeah.
I love that.
And
that's
think
beautiful.
About any night you've been out with the stars, and when they're out, and the magic that you feel when you get that moment, right? It feels like you're at one with nature, right? Like that's actually one of the things that I've talked about before, and I want to write a love note on is about that, being out there and I forget, it was a tribe of some sort, and I believe it was out of Africa, but it was that one of the visitors, they were talking to him. It was a famous writer person, and he said, they said something to him, and he was like, "What do you mean? I can't hear the stars." Right. And I've talked about this in another one, and they were just like, they were brokenhearted because it was like, what do you mean you can't, like,
you talked about this on the last one.
Did I? Yeah. But it's that thing, right? Where it's like all of your senses. It isn't just I see the stars. You should be able to feel them and hear them and almost taste them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's...
And when you live, well, and this, this does go back to the last episode that we did, because I was talking about the book Prodigal Summer by Barbara Kingsolver, and that's so much of what she's talking about there is about living outdoors. How do you as a person change? And it's all wrapped in story. None of this is explicit. It's all implied in the story, but there's something changes in you when you live outside, when you are under the stars and bathing in nature all the time. Right. And in her story, it has a lot to do with springtime and reproduction rights and nature. What is nature doing? The coming alive of everything again. But so interesting.
Okay, we can come back to this. You think about this while so with Londolozi too. So Londolozi was the place that Nelson Mandela went when he got out of jail to decompress from all of that, right? So Londolozi has been around.
That place?
Oh, it's so beautiful. Like
the same place that Nelson Mandela was.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And so it's this family has been like around for years. They were one of the first to turn it into a safari, into like a watching of photography safari instead of a shooting safari, right? They let it over, and it's a family, and it's the Vardy family, and so they've been there, like they were the early settlers there. They had there's one house there, and I think it's called Pioneer Camp, and it was like their first one, and they built out, and now they're always sort of the top South Africa, but usually the top, like it's incredible, but Boyd Vardy, and he's done a TED Talk that we'll link to that's really good, but he wrote a book, and we'll link to it because the name is gone, but he talks about, growing up there, right? And he has this, so his parents, are the original sort of homesteaders, but he had this uncle, pretty sure it was an uncle, who really lived amongst things, right? So he was out, and they would go into his house, but he would never close his windows or doors. So his house was full of black mambas, which is a deadly snake, right?
Yeah.
And but somehow he seemed to live among them okay, and like the animals could get in, right? And it's like, but it's this. However, it turned out that he became so familiar that I mean, I don't want to say he was safe, because I think he was also really lucky, right? Yep. Kind of thing. Yep. But it's like one of those, and that's like these are people that have a connection to nature. Yeah. That I envy, but they also contributed so much that nature, it feels like nature honors them. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those. And even with the people that go to Londolozi, you leave different.
When I was a young mother with young babies, I did a lot of reading and learning about sort of anthropology stuff. And there was a book that I read called, now I'm going to have to look it up. I can see it on my mind. But it was basically sort of a feminist treatise on natural parenting, like what is... So it referenced, it was written by actually an anthropologist. But she was talking about sort of more traditional, i.e. primitive cultures, primitive in quotation marks, where, they did things like the one thing that I remember was they lived near bodies of water or rough land where there was like caverns and stuff. Danger for the kids. But they were always close by, and their children learned very quickly not to go certain places because they were so attuned to what was around them. But probably the more pertinent one is where they were wearing their children, their infants, right? So they're wearing them on their bodies. And they didn't use diapers. Who's got diapers in the jungle, right? But because they were so attuned to their their infants and their bodies and their rhythms and all that stuff, they'd be like, oh, my child has to pee or whatever, and they'd hold them out
and they'd go.
Baby would do their thing, and it was a sign. It was like the classic sign of a new mother if she was soiled. Because she hadn't learned
got
it
yet. Oh, that's
and
interesting.
And then more experienced mothers, they just knew it, right? But they all learned it. They all developed it. And it's that paying attention. It's that...
Right, and it's the very, very vigilant yet multitasking thing, right? Like, and honestly, we kind of do it with our pets. With our dogs, for sure. Like, they got to go.
Exactly.
Right? But that's interesting, right? That's so interesting. But I have to say, so when you said that, you said, about when you were talking about this person and being so attuned to it, and I was thinking about, because we live in a community, and the people that used to live here, we called them the free-range children.
Oh, yes.
Right? And when you said that, it was like, like it was the original free-range children, kind of, right? But it is funny, because when you read Boyd's book, it's like it kind of talks about growing up there when they're in South Africa, the animals are more aggressive. And what I think is, and I want to confirm this, is because they eat this stuff from a tree. I think it's called a amarula tree or a marula tree. Yeah. And they're
Amarillo.
tipsy. Yeah. And they're more aggressive in South Africa. Okay. Everybody carries guns when you go on safari there. Like, well, I mean, everybody as in the rangers.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas in Kenya, they don't. They carry knives. Oof. Right, because the animals are less aggressive there,
right?
And so it's kind of put down to that, they're drunk, right? But I'll have to double check that. But it is an interesting thing.
Some
to
creatures
think about.
get more aggressive. Some creatures get more relaxed.
See, right? But it is an interesting thing because as city dwellers, I mean, somewhere in BC there are rattlesnakes. We never have to think about that. We think about bears,
right?
And we think about bobcats, right? And that kind of stuff,
lions.
Canada geese, right? But we don't think about. We think about dogs that should be on a leash. Like we don't think about snakes that can kill you, right? Or spiders that can kill you.
Yeah.
Or scorpions.
All spiders can kill you, Ruth.
Well, that's because you'd be running and you'd trip and break your neck.
I would. I did not kill a spider that I found on my car yesterday that was sitting in the little seam of the door of my car. And because my car is sitting outside right now, so it's collecting a lot more bugs than I like. I wish I could put it back in the garage. But anyway.
But she's painting. Just for the record, she doesn't put it in the garage because of action she's taking.
Correct. That is true.
Just saying.
I will
It's a situation you have created. So, also, I'm having a hot flash.
Then I won't turn the fire on.
You can.
Turning it on.
This is my hot flash. You don't have to suffer because I'm having a hot flash.
Well, I'm not actually cold. I just think it would look pretty back there.
It would look pretty. But
aesthetics.
Also, we're going to create a whole promo of me and you saying, I think I'm having a hot flash.
Yes. Because it's always happening.
Yep.
Yes. But yes, this was a fat-bodied spider. One of those, it was like that big, Ruth, I'm telling you.
It's going to be this big next time.
Let me tell you. I'm
telling you, that's exactly. Roxanne is like, I don't like spiders, but like her reaction is like.
It's a little.
Yeah. It's a little like there's a demon dragon in my garage.
It's I am perfectly. I cognitively understand the benefit that they provide to the universe. They are a predator. I get that. They take away bad things. And they can do that outside.
Right.
And I agree. Want them to do that outside. I don't want them to do that inside. Also, not anywhere near me or on me. And if I walk through a web, what's wrong with you? Evil.
But I do get it. I mean, except for mosquitoes, because they attack, they deserve it, man.
Yeah.
Like we mostly let we take it outside, but mosquitoes deserve to die.
This is karmic. This is karmic payback, though, because I used to torture my sister, Connie. I love you, and also
she's sorry.
I am sorry for some of the things I did to you. Older sisters, man, we got a lot to be sorry for. But also my brother, Rick, if you're listening, I know. I'm responsible for one of the scars on your head. But anyway.
Confession time.
I had a plastic spider and I used to put it in my sister's bed. And then I would just wait for her to crawl into bed and scream. And I thought it was hilarious. And I'm like, that is so friggin' mean. What was wrong with me? How old would I have been? I don't know. 10, 12, maybe.
So it was payback. You guys remember when I did that spider with you?
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Oh, there's payback happening all over the place.
See?
Yeah.
I also just as we're packing, I had some garden stuff, and I got it from my goddaughter's yard, because the people they bought their house from, he had like little rubber snakes all over the yard, and it scared the crap out of her. So I took one, and I've had it in our yard, and it scared people, and I just saw it today, and it was like, hee hee hee.
Are you leaving it there?
No, I'm taking it. I'm going to put it in the backyard.
It would be kind of funny if you left it for the new people.
It would be. Depends if we'd like them or not.
You'll never know. How will you know?
That's true. I hope the house likes them.
See, I wish we could know the people that were moving into our house.
I know.
I wish it could just be this open, like, hey, I think you guys would do really well in our house. Mm-hmm. Or, like, you want to buy my house? No. You need to pay us a lot more money before I give you that privilege.
No,
it's really actually
true.
good I'm not involved.
Yeah. See, we can talk ourselves out of stuff. Yeah. Okay, did you go back? Have you thought about the secret yet? Or are you going to have to wait till the end?
I think it would have something to do with the idea of authenticity. Again, we talked about this last week, but reality, like the stars might say, it's okay to be who you are.
Right.
Like it's okay to be you.
Right.
You don't have to pretend.
Yep. That's a good one. Nope, that's a good one. Okay, one of the other questions they ask, and they ask it specifically.
Who's asking?
This is Lon Delosy when they get the talking stick, and they had some other that there were really kind of deep ones. But that one of the other was, which animal, and they're talking for safari animals, but we'll make it bigger. Which animal do you most identify with? And because if I thought safari animals, right? I mean, I've always been absolutely. I mean, I love them all, but it's the warthog and the lion, right?
Really?
Like I love the giraffes, right?
I would have thought you would have said gorillas.
Well, gorillas, but you don't see those on that safari.
Oh, I see.
So,
okay,
right, but for sure, gorilla. I mean, and sharks. Like those are.
Oh yeah, you got a thing for sharks. You are friggin' weird.
Sharks. I am weird. I am, but like I was thinking because I had a dark-maned lion that I loved, and everywhere we went, when we were at Lon Delosy, he was there. He's gone now. Like that was 15 years, probably more than 15 years ago, and he's gone now. But like everywhere we went, he was there. And when our vehicle would come up, and because we would go out at night too, right? He would roar because he had two brothers, right?
Okay.
There were, and it was like him. But I also like when we went to especially Giraffe Manor, because the little warthog guys, like what did they call Pumbaa, and right, is that they're so funny, and they come up and they're jokesters, and they're really funny, right?
But they have tusks.
Oh, I know.
They can.
They could kill you.
Yeah.
But they're really cute, right? And Paul would say giraffe, right? But it's a really interesting thing because the lions aren't actually, and King of the Jungle is wrong because
it's her that's in charge.
Well, and also. You're not in the jungle when you're on safari. You're in the bush, right? Or in the low veldt. And that kind of stuff. But like Paul, and he was like, oh, I want to see giraffes. And as we were landing in Lon Delosy, which was our first time in Africa in general, they had to shoo giraffes off the landing strip, which was really awesome, right? but
just for Paul.
But it could be, like for me, it would be like our kind of animals. It would be a rescue dog, right? Is the one I would identify because, I'm kind of weird and kind of scruffy and kind of like don't really fit anywhere. But if you love me, I respond, right? Like I'm a mutt, right?
Oh yeah, spirit animal. I don't know. It's odd because we haven't had cats for a few years now, but I've always identified more with cats than dogs. I think because cats are kind of aloof and they like to be alone and they love to sleep a lot. So
and they'll swat you.
Yep, they'll swat you.
That's a Canada Goose, and you know it. I thought you were going to say Canada Goose because you're cheeky.
Nope.
Okay, so the other thing that led me into is, so think about this. As you're walking around, because I was thinking about, and it was at Lon Delosy actually, and it was Rob Ford back in the day that was mayor of Toronto, and he was going through all his things. And we're out and we're with our tracker guy, is from a local village, and they speak a local dialect.
Okay.
Right, and but he has, his English was good. It wasn't great. Like he's because he only needs it with us really. Right. Everybody else, right, speaks the language of the locals.
He can probably understand a fair bit.
And he can speak a lot, but we're talking and it's the first day out and we're talking to our ranger. So there's a tracker who knows the things, like who can touch a paw print and tell how old it is. And, like it was insane, the stuff these guys knew. And we have a ranger who was actually had a degree in whatever the animals and safari are and all these things, and she was an American. And so we were talking, and she asked where we're from, and we said, Canada and blah, blah, and he was like, ha, 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 Rob Ford. Now, this is not someone who has TV in his home. Like, the only time he'd see TV would be when he's, like, on duty, right?
Oh, my goodness.
And it was like, I was thinking about him, because it's like, I saw a thing, and it's like, every person is a galaxy of emotions, relationships, situations, thoughts, and feelings. And as they pass you by, you have no idea.
Right.
And I was thinking about this tracker that his way of finding commonality with us. And I was like, so he goes home to his like made with mud and straw. And he has this life we can never even imagine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And yet for a little glimpse, he found something that he felt we would have in common, right? And it was, and when he said it, he was laughing. So he was expecting us to laugh at Rob Ford too, right? Like, it wasn't like, oh, you have a good mare.
Okay.
It was more like, all we know about Canada really is because Rob Ford's all over the place, right? At that point, Rob Ford was getting caught up in all the, crack cocaine and, But anyway, like,
but it also reminds you how big Canada is relative to other, like, the continent
South Africa,
of Africa.
Well, the continent of Africa is huge, but each country
is so much smaller than our country, right? So our provinces are more like countries in Africa, right? So just because we live on the West Coast, when we lived in Ontario when we were first married, we had no idea the level of ignorance that people in Ontario had about the West. Like, we'd heard that, they think they're the center of the country and all that stuff.
Of the universe.
Of the universe, yeah. And then we found out, like, I had someone who didn't know what the ocean was on the side of BC. Like, that's an extreme example, but she was like, what's the name of that ocean over there? And I'm like, are you...
And she's Canadian.
And she's Canadian, yeah. But they really don't know what, BC or the prairies or, anything along the side is like. So...
No, once a
and it is very different.
It is really different.
Canada is so diverse.
Yeah, well, that's just it. And also, it was like everybody thought BC, hated Ontario, which honestly... not untrue, but also not unjustified either. Yeah. Right. But the flip side is like you hit the mountains and it was just this, it's like we are really different. But the other side is there is especially in Toronto, and I grew up there is an arrogance. Yep. Toronto is like thinks its only competition is New York City. Right. And New York City's like
So did I tell you the story of so way back, this is going back a long time, my very first book that sold was to a publisher in Toronto, and he was lovely. It's a small press, and he was very kind to my book and all that stuff. And then I met him at another event somewhere, and I overheard him making a comment about BC writers, and the comment was like, don't even waste your time. Nothing good. It's just a waste of time. And I said to him, I'm like, oh, hello, sir. Do you remember me? I'm actually in BC right now. And it kind of turned into a joke, but it's like, no way, man. Yeah. No way am I going to let that pass. Come on.
Yeah. But that's just it. So I remember when I moved to Vancouver, which was, a long time ago now. But I remember a buddy of mine who worked in the film business. And it was like, hey, I'm moving to Vancouver. And he's like, why are you doing that? And it's like, because there's opportunities out there, right? Like, to me, I got to work on the Chinese edition of Maclean's, which felt like it felt like I was doing a service to new Canadians. It felt important to me, right? And then he was like, BC's a town. And it was like, really?
What?
And we're not talking 100 years ago.
Right.
Even Toronto was just a town then. Yeah. Too, right?
Hogtown.
Like, we're talking,
Wasn't it called Hogtown?
Well, I lived in Cabbagetown, where during the Second World War, they grew cabbages on their front lawns because it fed them, right?
Sure.
But, it's like one of those where it's like, there's lots of opportunity. Like then, like for the communications, like if you wanted to be in finance, you stayed in Toronto. But if you wanted to do other stuff, like... BC had huge opportunities. Also, I got to, I was fortunate enough to have Maclean's here, right? But it was like, wow, like what What an arrogant thing to say.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So just to loop back to the every person is a galaxy of emotions, relationships, and situations, thoughts and feelings. It's like, it kind of makes me feel more compassionate if somebody cuts you off in traffic. Right? Like, or if you see somebody, and I was actually talking to Briley about it today, and, you know, people have resting bitch face, and I think I might have it too, because I can't tell you how many times walking down the street, and it's been a guy, so it's a little different, but usually they're like, it's okay to smile.
Oh,
and it's like, fuck you. Right? But also, I kind of do sometimes. If I'm looking serious, I look serious. Oh, yeah. Right? But it's like one of those where it makes me be like, as you drive by people or you're walking in a city or something and looking around and realizing they all have full lives of good and bad and whatever, right?
You have your life that you're dealing with, all your things. Everyone else has exactly the same amount, if not more.
That's just it.
Different though.
But it's like when you see that, and you can, if you can imagine like a bubble over them.
I have a thing I do with my husband all the time. I come up to him and I do this. So I'm like, you need Botox, honey, because I don't think you're as stressed as you look right now. So today he did it to me.
See? Payback's a bitch.
Yeah,
man.
Payback's a bitch. But, you know, like I've heard people say things like that too, that, you know, I don't feel as angry as I look. I just want some Botox to get rid of that angry line, because I don't. So which comes first? Do you feel something stressful and then your face reflects it, and then...
Or does it become a habit? Because honestly, I have a crevice here, and it's because when I think, I have a crevice, like, look at it, almost looks like a little bum.
We all do, though. That's the angry line, right? Or the angry 11.
Is that what it is? Because it's my thinking, like I'm like,
right, exactly, right? Yeah,
I think more than I'm angry, just saying, people.
Yes, but we all are, you know.
But that's
I
just
think I'd like to think that we all are.
Yeah,
but
nope, that's true. I keep sending her these memes about when you do something.
What is wrong with you?
I send them, and it's like somebody's on the couch, and they like throw up the pillow and run, and the person beside them runs.
Yeah, I'm not that bad.
No, did it scare you though?
A little bit. What? What's on you? What giant spider just crawled up your leg?
Sorry, I was going to write it down, and then I realized I'd give you a copy of my notes. So, okay, that was funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. Anyway, here's another one. So do you know what
Did
this is?
Did you say get a shit stroke?
Hang on, this is my next one. So you know what this is? This is like, and it's like when you're looking for your phone or your car keys or whatever. I saw it online. It was like, get a shit stroke, to get very frightened or shocked, like when you can't find your phone.
And it's in your hand.
Well, and it's like, but it's like, oh, where's like, you know that panicking when you've just got off, like you've just got off a train or something. It's like, where's my laptop?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Yep. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's the worst feeling.
Oh God.
The worst one is when you're running around and you're like, I swear I just had my phone. Where is it? Where is it? I'm using the light on my phone to look in a dark space to find my phone.
Your phone.
Where is it? Where's my phone? Wait a second. What is that in my hand?
It's like having your glasses on your head. Although I did it today with Briley, because I needed my credit card out for something to do with the move and everything, and then I just threw it back in the side, which is astute. You should always put it back here. Yeah. So I'm looking for my credit card, and I know it's in my purse. I think it's in my purse. I'm sure it's in my purse. And I'm going through all the stuff, and poor Bradley's sitting there waiting for me to pay for my hair, and you start to panic, like, or you're at Tim Hortons, and it's not like back in the day where you had cash on you.
Oh no,
right? You can't, like, it's like,
who's got cash?
Right?
Nobody ever.
But it's like that panic when they said it, and it's a shit stroke. Like, you're like,
yeah. Well, and then you think,
or you're on the ferry and you can't find your car keys, right? You're like going to go out, and so I started putting them right up there, because I put them and they'd fall on the floor.
I can do you one better on that one.
No,
you're on the ferry. You went to the bathroom and you can't remember.
Your car.
You can't find your car. That has happened.
That's a terrible one.
Yep, I don't know. Did I have a kid with me or not? My husband would remember, because he's been like, well, everyone's driving off the ferry. I'm the last one here, and my wife is wandering around somewhere looking.
With the car keys.
No, I just was.
You just were.
Yeah. And that feeling of like, because everything disappears and you've got this tunnel in front of you. So now when I'm on the ferry now, I'm like, okay, I'm on this level.
I take a picture of it.
Oh, that's smart.
Because that's a panic. And
that is a panic.
It is,
and then your brain disappears.
But that's just it. Then you can't think straight.
No.
I actually one time I was working for the Missing Women Commission, and I had a late meeting, and I was trying to get out of the parking lot because they locked up the doors at 10 at night. I couldn't find my car, and then by the time I couldn't find my car, they had locked up so I had to stay over when I finally found my car. So I got a hotel because you're locked in.
Oh my gosh.
They didn't have, because it's an office building thingy and all this stuff, and I didn't have a passcode, and there's nobody there, and so I could walk out, but I couldn't drive my car out.
Oh my goodness.
Right? And like that panicky feeling of where is it? Where is it? But it's so panicky that if I'm on a ferry, and I haven't been on a ferry, like on the Sunshine Coast I used to do it, I'd see tourists panicking, and it'd be like, come here, let's talk about this. When you drove on, what did you see? Right? Because I know what that feels like. And I was on that ferry a lot. Yeah. And I could get lost. Yeah. Right. So if somebody just on it, it's like, that's an awful one.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're living on the island. You're going to be living on the island less than 3 weeks from now.
I know.
Yeah. That means that it's going to be a ferry for us to see each other.
It's going to be a ferry.
Fucking ferry.
But they have ferry fries.
Yes. And people
ferry
get
fries
lost
are
on
good.
ferries.
They do, but we won't.
Sure.
Also, I already have to book my first visit to you because I booked an appointment with Briley. So
there you go.
Great.
That's good.
So we'll talk
I'm
about
painting
that
your
later.
bed right now.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It'll look very pretty.
Yes. Okay. The other thing I was thinking about, the inner monologue that you have in your head. Like I have the committee. You have.
I have
a different
the
committee.
voice.
The voice.
Yeah.
You had that when you were a kid.
Yep.
So
sure did.
Do you remember it? Do you guys remember it? Do you remember do you remember your inner monologue as a child? Like I don't remember it being conscious of it.
Yeah.
Also, I can hear your husband sighing. He must be back.
He's in his office. Yeah. Yeah. I know that I had one because I was a journal keeper. I was always writing stuff down in a diary or journal or something. So that was my inner voice coming out on the page. I don't remember it exactly. But the idea that some people don't have that blows my mind.
Or that they have it in music or visuals. Right?
Yeah, or they don't. Because I have it in visuals. Nothing. I mean,
I have mine intersperses, but mostly it's like mostly it's the committee going, do you really want to do that? Are you sure you should do that?
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes they're like, good on you, but mostly it's like, is that a good idea?
A lot of the time mine is like, hey, did you forget to wait? You need to go stop everything and do this and that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That.
So I was painting today, as you know. And I went upstairs because I had to take the bed apart and then move it down into the garage in pieces. And at one point, as I'm walking back up the stairs, I went, ooh, I haven't watered that plant yet. And so I took I didn't decide to do it. I'm just like, oh, that plant needs water. And if I don't do it right now, I'll forget. So I got to water it. You know what? Also, it needs these dry ends trimmed off. So I gave it a whole haircut. And then I went back and finished the stuff. But inside my inner monologue was telling me, your real job right now, what you're doing is painting the bed frame. Yep. So don't forget what you're doing. But also, good for you. And I think maybe you're what they used to call an absent-minded professor. What's an absent-minded professor? That's kind of a male term. Maybe there's a feminine version for that. Oh, why is the feminine version like a crazy old lady, but a male professor is an absent-minded professor?
That's so funny.
Anyway, it went a whole place.
Yeah, of course it does. Because that's just it, right? Like you go on, you have I have conversations with people like, I don't know, from high school who I'm never going to see again. I don't even know where they are. And it's like, oh, how funny to run across you in the airport. By the way, did you know you were a bully in school, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, because it comes up when I'm doing Supernatural sometimes. These memories come up and it's like, where'd that come from? And then I get out and I'm like, here's what I'd say to them. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why can't you just go over there in the dustbin?
Would you ever go to a high school reunion?
No.
No?
No.
I went to one.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. It must have been, I'm guessing it was probably 10 years. And I was in Saskatoon for some other reason. Because I wouldn't have, because I think we were, where would we have been living? We must have been living in BC by then. I certainly wouldn't have flown from Ontario to Saskatoon for it. But I was, we were probably in BC, so I came back. And it was, I mean, I am not a high school junkie. High school was fine for me. It wasn't great. It was fine. But I wasn't, part of the in-group or anything.
Yep.
But it was kind of fun to see, the cutest guy in class had kind of gone to seed a little already. Yep. I'm like, yeah. See?
So it's revenge.
He peaked early.
Right. And it's funny because I'm still like, I have my friend Bernie who watches the podcast, right? I stay in touch with her.
Okay.
But
Bernie?
Her name is Bernadette, but everybody called her Bernie.
Okay.
Right. But she always talks about, finding time because she's got her hands full aging parents. She had 2 aging parents and one passed away. She's got kids and grandkids and all the things and stuff. Right. But we stay in touch, and there's another Dennis is another but I'm not in contact because our lives went very different ways. Right after. And it's like, I would go if I was in the same city or Bernie came to visit Vancouver, I'd go meet her for lunch, right? But a reunion, I didn't have a lot in common by the end of it, right?
Yeah.
Like it was just I had a great time in high school, but it was a time limited thing.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like it didn't. Like I know some people who carried friends all the way through. I've got one friend I knew when I was 13 or 14, and my friend Marnie who watches the podcast too. It's like she's been around. For me, she's probably my oldest friend, right?
Okay.
And then Bernie and Dennis and a couple people from high school I know. But honestly, it wasn't the highlight for me. You know what I mean? It was just one of those. But it's interesting when I see people go and they're really excited about it. It's like, wow, that's really cool. I guess I didn't make those bonds.
Yeah,
with a group of people.
Yeah, exactly. I had 3. There were 4 of us. There was me, Anita, Pam, and Mel, and we hung out together. And this must have been grade 12, I guess. And we all went different directions, and I stayed in touch with Pam for a while, and then we lost touch. And of course, being in the community and the kind of school that I was in, we were partly connected through the Interschool Christian Fellowship,
right,
of which I was president, by the way, because I was that kind of person. And then,
that
of course,
scares me, just saying.
As my life evolved and I evolved and left that, I know, because I know how the cult mindset works, I am not a safe person for anyone who's still in it. Right. So they don't want anything to do with me. So if that's changed, please, if you're seeing this, get in touch with me. I'd love to talk to you.
No, but that's
right? I know that, so I'm not going to. My sister calls it self-shunning.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like, we haven't been officially shunned, but we know the mindset.
Right.
We know the mindset. So high school, my friends were all Christians. Bible school, kind of obviously, they were all Christians. And then I was in tech school, and we all, found different lives after that. And I moved, Ontario, BC.
Right.
And I don't know. Some people didn't move. Some people have stayed exactly like in the town where they went to high school. I mean, good for you guys. Maybe you stayed with friendships that were in that. And we've had
that are within context of their lives today.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But sometimes it feels like if you only are friends with people that you were friends with in high school, has your life really moved on?
Right.
I don't know, because part of me wishes that I had lifelong friends, and part of me is like, why would I want to be connected with that life? Right. I've moved on.
Right.
I've changed.
You're different.
I'm different.
Right. But I think that's a good point, because my husband Paul, he's very good friends with people from even grade school, right?
Yeah.
And I think, but those aren't his only friends. You know what I mean? But they bring a legacy and a story to his life. But when you were saying that, I was thinking, I went to a primarily Portuguese and Italian high school. Disco was big.
Disco.
I liked rock and roll, right? And many of the females anyway, their talk was about getting married and having babies, which was never mine. So I was kind of odd person out.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I think that's part of it. We had different goals for the future, and there's, what they wanted was right for them. What I wanted was right for me. And it's like we didn't have those bonding moments.
Yeah.
Right? Because I wasn't staying up late looking at wedding dresses, right?
Yeah.
Or baby names.
Yeah.
Right? And it's one of those where it was like, Bernie was one of the people, she was on the student council and so I was around that and on the newspaper, right? Which I'm pretty sure I created. Like, I don't think they had a newspaper. I just created one and, we did that until they said,
there
you can't do
were,
that.
Journalist from the beginning.
Right? But it's like one of those where it's like, so those people and I got
By the way, I did that too with my cousin. We made
Did you? You just made a newspaper.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
See? We were
Connections.
bound to be together.
Yeah.
See, if we had met in high school, well, maybe we would have had some things in common.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been Jesus, though.
Would not have been Jesus.
But yes. But it is an interesting thing to look back at that kind of stuff, right? Because I am grateful. Like, my friend Marnie sent me a whole bunch of, because we used to write letters, because she lived in Guelph. So she was...
Okay.
She was...
Letter writing.
One of my aunts... So her mom was my aunt's best friend, right? So in Guelph.
Okay.
And so I met Marnie and we became friends. And so I would go visit my aunt and I would, hang around Marnie a lot.
Okay.
And so we would write letters because she was in Guelph and I was in downtown Toronto. And she sent some of them back. And at that point I was very into Anne of Green Gables. And it would be, I am ever so delighted.
Yes.
And it's like she sends them back and I used to put on the return address, the truth from Ruth. Oh my God, like it's so dramatic, right?
So yeah.
And it's like, but it was like we were around together for a few summers where we were going through this 12, 13, 14-year-old, right? Like first crushes and all these things, right? And but yet we were writing letters, which was a different kind of friendship.
It was,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's the kind of thing. But it's really interesting when she sent them back. She's like, "You got to see these, man." And yet she is still the
That's delightful.
lovely, kind, open, welcoming human that she was back then. And I mean, she's retired now, and she was this, big shot HR person. And that made sense for her because she is this really compassionate, understanding, caring human, right? So it's like the through thread is that she's always been who I knew when we were 12 or 13.
Okay.
Right? And I guess I kind of have too. I've just... she didn't need to grow up as much as I did.
Okay.
Right?
Well, that's your perspective. It'd be interesting what her perspective
She's
on
nice,
that
though.
is,
She'll say nice things. I'm going to tag her on this, and we'll ask her.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. But it is. So I have something, and I have to show Roxanne it so that she can actually understand what I'm saying, because it's kind of crazy, but it's wine boots, man.
Wine, that's what that was. You sent me a bunch of stuff and I just ignored it because
you ignore me, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to find the wine boots. Yeah. Hang on, I have to find my
can
save
find
stuff.
it. Hold on.
Hang on. Here's my save stuff right here. So we're going to post these, but they're clear boots with high heels. And they're filled with wine, you guys. We'll put this link up. It's
what
so
they
cool.
are.
Right?
Okay. But waste of good wine.
It is
I'm
a
not
waste
drinking
of good
it after
wine.
my feet have been in it.
Well, people stomped on grapes, man.
Oh yeah.
But we'll put it up. But it is. It's like these clear, kind of very high heel fashion boots, and they're filled with like bubbles and rosé and red wine and white wine and stuff. And I remember in New Zealand, I was in New Zealand one time for Tourism New Zealand, and we went to a very boutique little winery that only did like it. I don't think it even got out of the country, like the wine.
Okay.
But the guy was like, "Come in here," and so they wash your feet for you to make sure it's really good. But I went in and stopped wine.
I have something to add to that. One of the dreams I've been dreaming really vividly this week for some reason.
Dreaming about wine and boots.
Not exactly, but I told you about one of the dreams I had that was it was all about, basically the gist of it was boundaries being violated and people getting into my stuff, which we all know is an issue for me. But anyway, this one was, I can't remember too much except one scene where I was in like running gear, but I had high heels on. And I'm trying to, like, I'm going from one house to another. Nothing too mysterious there. And there was a sense of urgency and all that. But I'm like, those wine boots. That's not what they were, but they were high heels. And yet I was in...
The wine boots would have been better, man.
The wine boots would have been better. So what does that mean if you're trying to run, but you're in high heels? Because I couldn't, obviously.
Anybody?
I did what I could.
What do you guys know? Tell us things.
Yeah. I love the whole dream interpretation thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously it's a push-pull. You're trying for something, but you're getting pulled back here.
Or also,
you don't have...
Also, is it that there's a barrier in your way? Or have you created your barrier?
Right, because I didn't need to put on high heels. Like,
and
what's wrong with me?
But, or is it an unconscious? Like there's so much that goes to it, right? Like when you think about dreams and what the symbolism is and stuff, and it's really interesting. And because I take medication for restless leg, twitchy feet, we call it, right? I don't know that I don't dream or I don't remember my dreams, because I usually dream quite vividly.
That's interesting.
Right? I don't, like, unless there's, although I used to get, and I haven't with the twitchy feet pills, but I haven't, I used to get the night terrors and poor Paul, right? So poor Paul was like, except, and I'm not quite sure where, I might need therapy to figure out where it came from. I get the night terrors and I scream, but I scream with my mouth closed. Like,
oh, that is just a friggin' horror show.
Oh, but and so poor Paul is like, wake up, and he's afraid I'm going to punch him or something, right? Because so clearly something wrong is going on, right? But dreams are like so fascinating, right?
I used to be quite into, I used to keep a dream journal for years. I did that. And I discovered a lot of really interesting things doing that, because if you wake up and write down your dreams right away, you remember them differently, because they disappear so fast. It's like trying to grab onto smoke. But I did that long enough to recognize that I had certain themes that came up. I had certain people that would show up in my dreams, and they meant a certain thing. And so images there's patterns,
right.
And I would recognize, and for me, I would recognize, this is another dream where I'm surrounded by water. I better watch out. I'm getting depressed.
Oh, interesting, right?
And I would see, these, but anyway, that's what it was. My husband woke up one time and he came to me and he's like, well, I had a dream. You can tell me what this means, whatever. And I don't remember what it was or anything, but I said something about, something that he was doing that he didn't want to be doing, or he was conflicted about something, and I said, well, that's what I see in what you're telling me. Here's the metaphor.
Yeah.
And at the time, he'd been doing a lot of he was really into online poker, and we'd been kind of giving him some grief about that, and he's like, oh, that's what that means. I'm supposed to quit online poker. And he quit.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. And it was good, because you gotta, those decisions you gotta come to on your own.
No, and it's interesting. And dreams are really like, but then there's the dreams, when you wake up. Like, I've woken up from good dreams and bad dreams. I woken up and it's like, oh, that was a dream. Oh. And then you fall asleep and you're right back in the freaking dream.
Oh, yes.
Right? And it's like, okay, the good ones, it's like, woo-hoo, I just won an Academy Award.
Exactly.
And the bad ones are like, I'm still in hell.
Why can't I get out of this? It pulled me back in. Yeah.
But when you write them down, I'm curious, because I would write down dreams, or I'd have these great ideas for a script or a book or changing the world. And I'd wake up and it's like, what the hell does that say? I think I'd be better recording it.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Like, could you read your, like, when you did
I
it?
could totally read.
So you were
I was
lucid
awake.
enough.
Yeah, I was lucid. I was conscious. But and I would focus on images. What do I see? What am I seeing here? I see a house. I see a green tree on the right side.
Right.
I see a red window.
Like, it wasn't the story in the dream. It was the details.
It was the details, and then the details would pull me back into something, and then I'm walking down this pathway, and this pathway comes over here. Or, I mean, I do remember some things very clearly. I'm sitting in a tiny boat on a tiny spit of sand, and I'm surrounded by water. That's what my dream would be. And I'm like, well, that's a sign I'm overwhelmed. I think I need some therapy. I need some friendship time. I need some me time. Like, obviously,
you're feeling
isolated and overwhelmed. So, but yeah.
But it's fascinating. That's really, it's fascinating to me, because it's like, that's when the freedom of what you're feeling can come out, right?
Oh, exactly.
And all of that, because we even on our own. I mean, you can be, to me, even if you're reasonably self-aware, and I'd like to think I'm at least a little self-aware, is there's stuff you're never going to see. You can't be, like, and then dreams bring it up, and it's like, what's that mean? And then it's like this, like, and for me, when I remembered them better, it was always like, why is this making me feel uncomfortable? Right? Like, it doesn't feel good for for, am I afraid?
Right.
Am I guilty? Am I worried? So you ask it, and I do it now even sometimes I wake up and it's like, I have cranky pants. It's like, let's talk about this. Because I think if you can be happy for no reason, you can be cranky for no reason too, right?
Oh, I think that's absolutely
but
true.
the other side, then it's like, let's sit with this for a
Well,
minute.
what does no reason mean?
Well, but that's just it, right? Like sometimes you can just wake up and you feel happy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I wake up and it's like, the world sucks and blah, blah, blah. But you have to sit down and go.
Wait, let's go back. Sometimes you wake up and you feel happy? Let's talk about that. What the hell is that about?
I don't know, like I get out of bed and everything seems possible.
You get up at 4 a.m.
Or 3.
Or 3.
Or 2 nights ago I got up at midnight because I couldn't sleep.
That's not getting up. That's not going to sleep.
But I blame the vaccine.
I got up at 9 in the morning today. We have, we are literally on a different time schedule.
Friends?
I don't know.
You should go live in Hawaii and then we'd be on a better
I
schedule.
would like to be in bed 10 hours a night. I'd like to sleep 9.5 of that and then listen to my book the rest of the time. But in order to read also before I go to bed, I have to go to bed another hour before that. So, I mean, if the world is working the way I like it to work, I'm in bed 12 hours a day. But I also
need 7 hours.
But I also I got up, I had some rice pudding, got up again, changed the temperature in the house, got up again, looked out the window, made sure there wasn't a bobcat walking along our deck. Oh no!
Because you're worried about that. Why?
I don't know. I need to stretch my legs. I sit in the corner, and squatting down in the corner like some kind of little creepy gnome.
She eats bananas like a monkey. When her husband comes out, her husband's name is Ray, by the way, and we all know that. So she keeps saying my husband, but he comes out like to get yogurt or something, and she's like in the corner, crouched down, like eating a banana like a monkey.
Well, I'm safe in that corner. No one can get me. My back's to the wall. And I'm stretching out my calves and my feet, which are jitterbugging. They're called Jimmy legs, by the way.
Jimmy legs. Twitchy feet.
I have not had a lot of trouble with the Jimmy legs. Last night they were active a bit, so that was a bit of a problem.
Okay, but don't you just wake up some days and you're like, even if life is hard, it's like, I've got this. Also, just for the record, I go to bed like around 7 and I read for about an hour.
Okay.
I listen, the Big Bang Theory is on in the background because it's kind of like the volume, right? Or I have to say, if Rachel Maddow's on, I listen to her. Or if there's I no longer pay that much attention to the news or to serial killer stuff.
That's right? Really good. That's not good before bed.
But so Big Bang Theory is, or I watch High Potential or like one of the shows I know, right, that I like.
Yes.
Right, kind of like they're safe. Right, yeah. But I do all that. So probably by 8 I'm asleep.
Okay.
So 8 to 4, it's a full night's sleep.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Right, it's just on a different schedule. Like I always used to joke that I'm not quite sure I left, even though I came here and adjusted, I'm not sure I left East Coast time zone. Right?
No, you absolutely did
and
not.
And for a long time, we had clients in New York and Toronto, so you had to be up. Right?
That makes total sense.
It's like stockbrokers, right? That live out here. Yeah. They're up for their opening bell.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, but it is
That's
funny.
Nightmare.
But also we were laughing because as we move and we still have our house and stuff, and so Paul are like, we're going into fiscal restraint, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, well, I already checked out all of the restaurants in Qualicum Beach and Parksville, and I know when all the happy hours are, right? And then we started laughing because it's like, oh my God, we're those people that are going to eat dinner at 4:30.
There is nothing wrong with that.
I don't know, man. I used to mock them.
We all did, but in fact, you digest better if you eat at 7 o'clock and then you're supposed to go to bed at 8 or something on a full stomach. That does not work.
I can't eat at 7. I'm in bed by then.
I know,
but that's just it. But it was kind of funny because it was like,
so my middle daughter is married to a man whose wife is married to an Italian, so they're kind of connected to the Italian culture. And
whose wife? She's married to a man whose wife? Whose sister.
Whoops.
That was like, and they live in Utah.
We got a complicated thing.
There we go. Let me edit that. Her sister-in-law.
So her brother-in-law, so Andrea's brother-in-law is Italian. Yes. And of course, Italians eat late, right? So they're like, and sometimes even when they come over here, they're like, oh, we're going to drive out and we're going to make supper for you guys. And that all sounds great. And then they say, yeah, so we're going to leave. It's 4:30. It takes an hour and a half to get to our place from where they are. Yeah, so we're going to leave now. Ray and I are looking at our watch. We're like, so we want to eat in like 20 minutes. And you're not even going to be here. And then you're going to feed us at like 8:30 when we want to be in bed at 9.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with this?
Yeah.
But in Europe, in Italy, they just eat later.
Yep.
I never figured that out. That doesn't work for me because I know if I eat too much before bed or if I have, there's absolutely no way I can sleep.
Or you're going to have the dreams.
My Jimmy legs are going to go nuts.
Yeah, but it's an interesting thing, right? Like when you think about the different norms, because so and again, Big Bang Theory, because I'm probably like, I keep thinking, I wonder if I'm the person in the world who's watched the most episodes, right?
How would you prove that?
You wouldn't prove it, but I watch it a lot.
There's got to be, there's got to be some kind of trivia game out there.
There has to be,
because we're probably pretty close on that for like, not Parks and Rec, because I haven't actually seen all of the episodes, but maybe Friends, maybe The Office. Right. Oh, I could probably recite a lot of The Office.
But but it's like the Big Bang Theory had one like that where Sheldon was talking about I think it was Ernest Hemingway, right? And he was talking about early dinners because he lived in Florida, right?
Right. Oh,
and then one of the other characters, Amy, was like, he also lived in Spain. So like, how are you making this assumption? But like, I used to, my dad and his wife had a place in Florida for quite a few years, and they used to like talk to us, and they're like, oh yeah, we're going out at 4:00, and because they're going out for whatever the early bird special, right? And it was like 4:00. That doesn't sound so bad now.
That works for me 100%.
Someone asked me how I'm doing, and I wanted to say living the dream and screaming into the void at the same time, and ended up saying living the scream. That kind of feels like life these days, right? Next time somebody says, how are you doing? I'm going to go live in the scream, man.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That is so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes.
Living the scream.
So let's go. What are we grateful for, Rox?
Oh boy, you'd think I'd be ready for that question.
Also, she never answered the question.
I did.
You didn't? Oh, you did answer about the stars. Never mind. She's got a better memory than me.
Okay, that is friggin' scary for you. I'm going to say that I'm grateful for Bubbles and a friend who enjoys them as much as I do.
We have so our friend Terry, who watches.
I'm talking about
likes
you.
Bubbles. I know you're talking about me, and that's really sweet. But our friend Terry likes them, and now we've got Maria hooked on them, and Terry's ordered them.
Oh, right? Stoneboat, we love you.
Yeah,
and we want you to know
we're spreading the word.
We are.
No, but that is. But yes, I know you love me.
What are you grateful for?
You.
Oh, she always does that.
Man.
She's just like, I'm going to be better than you.
Yeah, because that's possible. I mean, come on, people. But I am like, and one of the things I had here we didn't talk about. It's about, and we will talk about it a lot next time. Is adult female friendships and making friends when you're a grown up, right? Like, and there was sort of a segue when we talked about high school friends, but it's like you have no idea, like. For me, when I'm up early and I see something funny, especially the scary shit or the funny shit, like people, like, and we're gonna do it to our husbands. You get a big bowl of flour, and you do it like this. You do so a big bowl of flour, but I'm gonna use wine, and you're like,
you're pretending that it's super
heavy, and
or
stuck. And then they come over and it goes all over them. Like I keep sending her that stuff, and she's like, "You're broken." Right?
You are deeply, deeply broken.
But it's like, and also just. Somebody that you can trust 100%. You don't get that often in life, right?
That's true.
And so I really am, and I'm good at like writing how I feel about people. I'm not good at saying it to them because like it gets all. I know. Also, somebody who's honest with you, right? But like that. So I am very grateful for you, and I'm going to learn how to say it more.
No, you're not.
But it's okay. I would try for you.
Oh, whatever.
Anyway, what do we want more of, Roxanne?
We want more happy hours. What do we want less of, Ruth?
Hey, Ray, you want to say what we want less of? You know our tagline.
That's bullshit.
There you go.
Bullshit.
Less bullshit.
There it is.
Okay, come and tell us what the stars would say to you. Come and tell us what animal you most relate to. Come and tell us there was something else we had in there. Oh, show us your razzle-dazzle, man. We really want that. What's yours again?
My razzle-dazzle. Razzle-dazzle. Show me razzle-dazzle. Show me razzle-dazzle. Show me razzle-dazzle. And what's yours?
Show me razzle-dazzle. I love jazz hands.
You do.
Okay.
Love you guys. Thanks for being here
with
us again. Bye-bye.